the 2003 National Educator of the Year. I'm impressed by your credentials. What does it take to get that award?
A lot of hard work and creativity and you know, willing to go out there and try new things.
You're a teacher in San Diego?
San Diego. I teach just about a mile away from the Tijuana border. Very similar to this.
Okay, so you say there's this huge growing gap between the Chinese in particular and the American education system. What did you find when you went to China for a whole month and visited all these schools there?
Well, real quick, the way I like to describe this, I use the analogy, the Chinese public educational system is something like the NFL, the National Football League, whereas here in America, we're playing no better than high school football.
All right, why?
Well,
there's a comparison.
There's a lot of different reasons. Number one, in China, they go to school 230 days a year. Here, we're doing 180 days a year. They go to school about 3 to 3.5 hours more per day on average. In the high school, it could be even double. It's relentless. Right. Number three, the curriculum is based on science and math, so much more rigor, much more structured.
And science and math are what we're lacking in this country, notably.
Majorly. In fact, there was a study, the PISA test, which our government says is the #1 way to see how we're doing here in America versus the other schools. China, their first year out in 2009, first in science, first in math, first in reading.
So you're saying that in China, kids are saturated with education. They go to school longer during the day, more school days out of the year. It's not that they're smarter than American kids, but they got that repetition, and they're wholly devoted to it. You know, when you go to a public library in this country, who do you see? You see a lot of Asian American students trying real hard. It's not that they're smarter. Right. They're devoted to the education process.
And so we have two problems here. Number one is we're not doing enough time in school, and that's a government problem. We need to do it at least another month just to be competitive with Asia. But number two, we have a huge parenting crisis here. Parents, you know, there's studies that support that Chinese parents spend upwards of 10 times more time per day with their kids' academics. And you know what? After being in China, I believe that.
Yeah. You're a National Educator of the Year. I'll tell you something you may not know, because the dropout rate in El Paso
50%.
is about as bad as it gets.
I know.
In a recent year, 6,400 students, not 64, 6,400 dropped out of high school. I know you're not an expert in El Paso's education system, but when you see those numbers, what do you think?
You know what? It hurts me. And predominantly Latinos. And this is an area that I work with. And you know what? One of the worst things that we've done here in the United States, where China does so good, and they offer a state-of-the-art vocational programs for about 50% of their kids. So they can go out of high school with skills. They could be a cosmetologist or an auto mechanic or a tourist director or a massage therapist. We don't do that. I guarantee you, if we could offer those kids options, many of those kids would not drop out.
Keith Ballard, thanks for your energy, your dedication.
Thank you very much.
Good luck on your travels.
It's an honor being here.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we've done stories on local education systems offering a